Today has been a crazy day for Destiny. Bungie finally broadcast the reveal of Destiny, Love and Thunder, Infinite, Titanfall, Lightfall Edition with all sorts of great news like in-game loadouts, LFG, and even the banhammer smashing the Destiny content vault for good. But today we're not talking about any of that. We're going to dive into what every Destiny player loves most, and that is loot. More specifically weapons, namely the weapons that came out today with Season of Plunder. So today I'm actually going to be doing a casual breakdown of every weapon that came out this season. I haven't even looked at these yet. I just found out that it's Season of the Plunder. And yeah, we're going to run through every weapon on Light GG here. We're going to be chilling and see how this is. So let's hit the new weapons tab. And we're going to break down... We're not going to cover exotics today because those don't really have random rolls. We're just going to kind of cover, you know, which rolls we want to go for and that kind of stuff. First up, we got Whistler's Whim, Kinetic Bow. That's always a welcome addition. It's a lightweight, like those. Interesting. Kind of looks like Whispering Slab with the Trials design. All right, we've got a few here. All right, so for the PvE, Archer's Tempo is always good. In the same column as some damage perks, though, which is kind of a bummer. The Rapid Hit would probably pair pretty nice. You know, maybe... Actually, Kill Clip is interesting. I don't know if we've ever seen that on a bow. So maybe Rapid Hit Kill Clip, faster reloads, then you're doing more damage with each shot. That's not too bad, maybe in like mid-tier content. Anything higher than that, maybe Rangefinder for a little bit more range. Lightweights don't always have the best range that way. Successful warm-up is always good. You know, if you're doing PvE, I'd probably do Killing Wind, Successful warm-up. That'd be a really good combo. Okay, interesting. Let's move on. That does have an Adept variant. Oh, no way, they brought back Malicious Birthright. Sweet. Oh, is it a Nightfall weapon? There's an Adept? Awesome. Okay, most of the perks look the same. So we got... Like, Ambitious and Frenzy would be pretty good. So would Multi-Kill. Looks like we got a new perk here. Pugilist? What is that? Okay. Final weapon blows with this weapon generate melee energy. Dealing melee damage briefly improves weapons hand. So it's like Grenadier or Demolitionist, but for melee. Okay. So yeah, for PvP, I'd probably do like Quick Draw and then Auto-Loading Holster. That's pretty synergistic. And then Slideways, that's a strong pick. You know, maybe do Slideways and Multi-Kill or One for All for PvE. Not bad. Next up, we got Pure Poetry. Kinetic Hand Cannon. It's not loading. Kind of hard to see the stats when it's not loading. There we go. Okay. A 120 in the Kinetic slot. That's nice. Haven't had any of those for a little bit, I feel like. Oh, alright. This must be a playlist weapon. A lot of perks. Can't even get them all on screen at once here, sorry. That's what I get for having a small iPad. We've got a 120 here. Stability looks kind of below average. I'm not too sure, though. Could be wrong on that. Perpetual Motion is always a good pick. You know, it's going to help with reloading. Hand cannons don't usually have great reload. Maybe you could pair that with Opening Shot for PvP. That wouldn't be too bad. Harmony. Maybe Eye of the Storm. I got to learn how to say that one. Pugilist again? I don't know. They deal bonus damage to targets with overshields. Deals a small... Okay, so that's interesting. That might be nice for PvP, actually, because you get a lot of Void Titans running around with barricades, doing extra damage to barricades. That might be nice. Is this a Hake weapon? Because then... Oh, it is. Okay. So then you'd be doing extra damage against overshields with Titans in the Crucible, but then you'd also be doing Hake Breach armaments, which does more damage against Titan barricades. So that could actually be really nice. Interesting. Okay. Let's keep it moving. There's way too much to look at there. You know, maybe if you really wanted to spec range, you could do like Fragile Focus, Opening Shot. Don't know if we want to worry about that. You know, honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of a new season is just going on Light GG and checking out all the new weapons. I love this tab. Pure Poetry. Let's take a look at No Reprieve. Okay, interesting. So we've got a Stasis Legendary Shotgun. It's a Slug, so I don't think we've had one of those yet. Headstone, obviously. It's craftable. That's great. Okay. I don't see any for PvP. You know, maybe I don't know, for PvP, I guess I'd do steady hands, maybe surplus. You know, usually you want good handling on a shotgun. Reload and stability don't matter as much for PvP, but having good handling is important. So I'd either do steady hands and surplus, and then like snapshot, maybe headstone for PvP. Swashbuckler could be good. You know, if you get the body shot and then melee kill, then you're going to be doing a lot of damage if you follow up with that melee kill. Yeah, not too thrilled for this one. I don't think this one's going to get a ton of use in PvP. Could be wrong about that. Interesting possibilities with PvE though. We've got triple tap and focused fire. So it's a lot easier to proc focused fire if you got triple tap going. Because it doesn't like recognize that the mag is bigger, it's just giving it back, so it's easier to proc. Then you got surrounded, triple tap surrounded, or focused fire. I think either of those would be just fine. Let's keep it moving though. There's a lot to look at here. Allied Demand. It's a sidearm. Love new sidearms. Looks like it's Iron Banner. Just coming back. That looks like an old design. Got an adaptive frame. It's a kinetic. Looks like we're getting a lot more options in the kinetic. Gunshot straight. Aiming down sights increases body shot damage, decreases target acquisition. Okay, interesting. So like you're less likely to get headshots because you got less aim assist, but then you're going to be doing more body shot damage. That's kind of weird. I don't think I'll be using that perk like ever. Yeah, and it doesn't really say how much it lowers your aim assist by. Interesting. Man, it looks like they added a lot of weapons. Okay, so maybe Rangefinder and Eye of the Storm. That'd be a decent dueling roll. I don't really ever recommend Iron Reach, not for controller users. Maybe if you wanted to do Subsistence Frenzy would be just fine in PvE. Subsistence Multi-Kill Clip would be just fine in PvE. Yeah, I don't know. Air Assault was buffed. We'll see if that's good. That might be good in PvP. Sidearms are pretty good in the air as it is, but let's keep it moving. Not the most interesting weapon, I don't think. Another sidearm. Another kinetic sidearm. Let's see, it's a 260 precision, so that's a pretty good archetype. I like that one. Increases handling, decreases target acquisition. Not feeling that, but okay. Threat detector is nice because you're getting a lot of perks and you're almost always going to be close to your target, so looks like maybe threat detector, one for all, or surrounded, or swashbuckler. A lot of good damage perks here. That any of these could work for PvE probably. PvP again, I'm not seeing any one perk combo that would be really good. Maybe moving target and then a swashbuckler, maybe multi-kill clip. I would probably think swashbuckler. Moving target swashbuckler would probably be good. Close the gap, get a melee kill, then you're doing a lot of damage. Probably decreases your time to kill a little bit there. And we've got a kinetic stasis submachine gun. Okay, man, this weapon design is interesting. It's a 750. Okay, that's a good archetype. I like that. Terrible stability, as always. Let's see what we can do here. Encore, that's always an interesting one. I don't use it too much personally, but I've heard people say good things about it. Dynamic sway would probably be helpful. You know, these aggressive frame SMGs are kind of interesting. Some of them are a lot easier to control than other ones. The one from Duality, even though that thing has terrible handling, terrible stability, pardon me. Even though it's got terrible stability, I feel like you can still control it pretty well, but we'll see how Blood Feud handles. It is craftable, looks like, so that's always good. You know, if this thing turns out to be good in Crucible, if it's got enough range to it, maybe Dynamic Sway and then Elemental Capacitor on a Void subclass, that might be good. It could be good on Stasis as well. Ambitious Assassin got a big buff this season as well. So that could be good in PvE. Maybe Ambitious Assassin and Focused Fury, pardon me. It'd be a lot easier to proc that if you have just a gigantic magazine. Also, Grave Robber and Swashbuckler, that could be great in like middle tier content. So if you're running like Hunter and you got the shurikens, super easy to get kills with those things. It's bouncing all over the place. You get a kill with that, you're dealing a whole bunch more damage. That could definitely work. Very interesting. I don't really care about triple tap on primaries. I don't think it's... You can spec and reload pretty well, and it just doesn't matter that much. Alright, we got a ways to go. Oh, no way. They brought back Mindbenders. That's not okay. Eugh, okay, all right. Interesting. I'm not even gonna say this one. I'm gonna butcher it, and yeah, we're just not gonna go there. Got a 900 RPM Kinetic. I like that. Good. Something to compete with Multi-Mach. Suros, so it does have that origin trait. Big fan of that origin trait. Good for Crucible. Perpetual Motion. See that one right away. That's always a good one. Just a great stat bump. I mean, it's basically a constant 15 stability, handling, and reload. That's really good. Combine that with Rangefinder. That could be pretty nice. You could be getting some really high range, good stability. Looks like Bungie didn't hold back on the perks for this one. Really like demo. I don't know if you guys saw my video recently with the Trip Mine build, but that could definitely feed into that. So Perpetual Motion, Demolitionist, that would be pretty sweet. Ambitious Assassin, multi-kill clip for PvE. Ambitious and Demo, Swashbuckler, any of those would be good. I don't really know enough about this perk. You know, we'll see how good it is. I don't know how much energy it's going to regenerate. I would imagine it's close to Demolitionist, but we'll see. Don't know enough about it to recommend it or not recommend it at this point, so maybe we'll get my opinion on that later this season, but not that that matters. Let's keep it moving. Amit Ar2, a solar auto rifle coming in at the 450. Okay. 450 RPM, that's nice. Okay, so we're still getting weapons with incandescent. Looks like some decent rolls on here. 450s are pretty stable. I don't feel like you usually have to spec into stability that much, but if you want to, you could do dynamic sway and then tap the trigger. That's always been like a really... That's going to help both up front with tap the trigger, and then dynamic sway is going to kick in even more as you keep firing, so that's just going to result in an extremely comfortable weapon to fire. But for Crucible, I don't know, that's a little like too consistent almost. You don't get enough other good stuff. I would probably do Surplus Adrenaline. Snagger Grenade Killer doing a lot of damage. You still have the stability buff from Surplus. That's really good. I don't know. A Gut Shot Straight, that's a weird perk to me. We'll see if that's any good at all. You know, depending on how much forgiveness that adds, if that means you have to hit like 2 or 3 less crits, that could be really good. I tend to think it's not going to be, because Bungie doesn't like to overtune those kind of perks. I like to see how they're going to pan out. So yeah, for PvP, maybe dynamic and tap the trigger, or you could even do Surplus, tap the trigger, and then if you want a little bit more variety, maybe whatever that word is, and Adrenaline Junkie. PvE, I don't know, mid-tier content where you're getting a lot of kills. Ambitious Assassin and One for All could be nice. Pretty hard to get away from Incandescent, but we don't have those seasonal mods, of course, helping us out there anymore. So yeah, kind of up to you. There are the obvious terrible picks. Turnabout, I don't think Well-Rounded is very good. I don't know why you'd use that over Surplus, quite honestly, but yeah, let's keep going. Yesteryear, Pulse Rifle Void, nice. I don't feel like we have a ton of those. It's a Suros design, it looks like, 390, so we got an adaptive. 390 adaptive Gambit. Oh boy. All right. What do we have here? There are so many choices here. It's disgusting. Oh, Desperado. That is interesting. So far we've only seen Desperado on high impacts, which means this thing is firing a little bit faster already. You're going to see a pretty big bump. Yeah, okay. So Tunnel Vision and Desperado would be a really good pick here because they both proc on reload, which means you're not losing any time in between. So you're going to be dealing more, you're going to be able to fire a lot faster, and then you're going to have better accuracy, basically. So that's really good. It's not a craftable weapon, so that's kind of a bummer. You're going to have to wade through this whole perk list. If you really like Gambit, you play a lot of Gambit. I actually was recently. It was a lot of fun. So if you stick with it and you try to be competitive, Gambit actually can be fun, I found recently. But if you stick with Gambit and you do a couple resets, you're going to be getting multiple perks in each column, so that's going to help a little bit for sure. This weapon obviously has a ton of potential. I could probably talk about it for 20 minutes. I mean, any of these ritual weapon playlists could just have... They have so many perks. So yeah, I mean... Well-rounded and Repulsor Brace could kind of work, I guess, because if you're debuffing targets with your ability, you've got better stats, and you're going to get an overshield, or maybe something like, you know, Golden Tricorn is an interesting perk as well. There's nothing feeding into your ability energy though on this left side, so that's kind of a bummer. I would probably just do ones that make it a little bit more reliable. So Steady Hands is always good. Handling isn't too bad on this archetype, but Tunnel Vision, Perpetual Motion, of course, is always going to be a good one. For PvP, Rampage is going to pair well with those. Eye of the Storm if you want a dueling weapon, and then Desperado, of course, is always good. So yeah, let's keep this moving. Tarnished Metal. Looks like another seasonal weapon. Man, look at that. That is crazy. We got a lightweight, 200 RPM scout rifle. This was arc. Okay. We've been kind of lacking volt shot. Oh boy. Okay, so this is like the incandescent for this season. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges this weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt its next hit. Okay. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. So you could probably pair that with like Demolitionist and Volt Shot. That's probably going to pair well in some way. I haven't really looked at the aspects and fragments yet, but we'll see how those pan out. I like that. That looks interesting. Fourth time's a charm, maybe, if you're in like high-end content and focused fury, that would be nice. Anti-barrier champion for scout rifle. Scout rifles are anti-barrier champion this season, so that could be really nice, actually. Explosive payloads, just like kind of a flat damage buff. That's nice. So yeah, for PvE, I'd say, you know, maybe fourth time's a charm and explosive payload, or focused fury. Maybe demo and volt shot. I'm guessing volt shot's gonna be meta this season. This is craftable, so you'll be able to pick pretty easily what you'd like. And then, you know, maybe a pure dueling role in PvP. I'd say Killing Wind and Eye of the Storm. That's pretty nice. Explosive payload is always great for flinch. I mean, I've turned into a real sucker for explosive payload weapons. Those flinch so much. Oh, origin trait. Okay, so these fallen themed weapons dealing melee damage give this weapon increased target acquisition and range for a short period of time, and dealing melee damage again extends that. Okay, interesting. So we're gonna look at Mindbenders. I was not around for this meta, thank goodness. Don't think I want to be. Wasn't aggressive, right? Yeah, so we got an aggressive solar, slideways, swashbuckler, all that good stuff, all auto loading. Yeah, so immediately PvP, I'd say, you know, either snapshot or slideways. You know, so you're going to reload, you're going to get better handling and stability, and then most likely you're going to be following up with a melee kill, so then you'll be dealing a lot more damage, which means higher forgiveness. Always an interesting play. Threat Detector doesn't work bad either because you're in close range. So any of these three paired with, you know, Fragile Focus, it's hard to close the gap and not take any damage, but it could be nice, I guess, sometimes. An Incandescent, don't sleep on that for PvP. You know, if you close a gap, you get a shotgun kill on somebody and you got someone else right there, that explosion might bring them down to one-hit melee, or just be able to, you know, take them down at longer range with that shotgun. Some interesting choices here, for sure. There is the Adept version, so you'll be able to max that out pretty nicely. Looks like we got a new arc shotgun, Slug Trials. So that's going to be competing with first in, last out for sure. Fourth time's a charm. And okay, so there's no like raw damage buff. You got to be getting kills. I don't know, for PvE, I'd probably say, you know, maybe Harmony in fourth time's a charm. If you're in like a boss DPS phase where there are trash ads around, you could kill one and then switch. Maybe, I don't know. There's not a great option in the second column for that. First column, you could run Demo, throw the grenade, instantly reload your magazine. That's pretty nice. PvP, I would definitely say Perpetual Motion, Opening Shot. That seems like an obvious choice. Like longer range, better handling, all that good stuff. And that is another Adept option too, so that could be good. Brigand's Law. Interesting, a rapid fire. Don't like these, but that's okay. Say Energy Arc Sidearm. Again, we got Volt Shot. Don't know how good that's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be great. You know, maybe Perpetual Motion, Volt Shot, just a more reliable experience. Threat Detector, that could be good. Threat Detector and Surrounded, that's always a good combo. Pretty natural. Yeah, interesting. Killing Wind Adagio could be pretty good for PvP. It adds a lot of forgiveness. I like Adagio a lot recently. Actually, they buffed it recently, and I think it's a pretty good pick. So both of these would be stacking into your range. Actually, you'd probably be hitting at some pretty high numbers. Killing Wind and Rangefinder would be another good combo. You'd be pulling off some pretty crazy range. Swashbuckler as well. You never know when you're going to get a melee kill and then have some damage. He's got a couple more left here. Out of Bounds, submachine gun. Sweet. Love submachine guns. 900 RPM. Okay, so this is going to compete with Stochastic Variable. It's another Amalan weapon. I'm going to have to do a direct comparison to these two because I just recommended Stochastic for this season. But let's see the perks. Might have better perks. Oh, it's got a lot of perks. Okay, it's one of these again. Alright. Threat Detector surrounded. Kill Clip. A lot of good damage options here. Just about every damage option on here. Jeez. Kill Clip. Surrounded. Swashbuckler. Adrenaline. Harmony. And that's it for damage. Subsistence surrounded. If you got a melee build, you got a grenade build, you got options there. Demo and Adrenaline Junkie is obviously great. Those are always great. So for PvE, I'd probably say Demo and Adrenaline Junkie. Grave Robber and Swashbuckler. Just a really natural pairing there. PvP, Perpetual Motion, Rangefinder. I'm picturing people using that a lot. If you do small bore, ricochet rounds, Perpetual Motion, Rangefinder, that is adding a lot of stability. And then you're getting a nice chunk of range there. And then it's got a zoom of 14. Yeah, so that's not even too bad. It could be lower. Yeah, that could be nice. Yeah, let's see what this looks like real quick. So ricochet rounds, you're buffing that stability and the range. And then Killing Wind, obviously this doesn't make a difference necessarily, but in the stat sheet here, but whatever. Stability, so you could hit a nice 70 for your stability. And if you want to go even harder into range, yeah, 20.6 meters. I mean, that's pretty nice. That's competing with Drang. I know that's obviously a sidearm, but that could be nice. Then obviously you could do Counterbalance, which brings it up to a perfect 100. Probably don't have to do that. 95 is pretty nice. Yeah, 60 stability. That's probably going to be pretty comfortable. And yeah, just about everyone's a fan of these 900 RPMs. I think Bungie knows that by now, and they knew they had to add one. So pretty cool that they did. Nice that it's got a lot of options. Excited to grind this one out and see what we can do. And it looks like, yeah, okay, so this is from Crucible. It is really easy to get Crucible reputation. Play on a weekend where there's like double reputation or something, or play trials. That gets you a lot of reputation too. And if you reset a couple times, you're going to get a shot at like 4 or 5 of these perks on just one weapon. So I think that submachine gun's definitely going to be worth picking up. All right, we're getting a little closer to the end. Next up is Cry Mutiny. This is the ritual weapon, actually. And it's got Incandescent and Demolitionist, and then Swashbuckler and Vorpal. Frankly, I don't really see a place for this. I know grenade launchers got buffed, so maybe with Radiant and Font of Might, you could make this work. Maybe Demolitionist plus Vorpal. You're doing more damage against bosses, and then, you can instantly reload with a Demolitionist. But not too thrilled about this one. I think that's another ritual weapon that kind of fell short. Sail Spy Pitch Glass. So we got an Arc Linear Fusion. That's nice. We don't have too many of those. We got Rapid Hit and Focused Fury. That wouldn't be too bad for PvE. Clown Cartridge is always good. Maybe Clown Cartridge and Focused Fury. That's probably what I'm seeing mainly. Again, I don't know what the damage potential for Volt Shot is. Maybe that'll be good. But yeah, keep an eye out for that combo right there. I got Taipan or Taipan, not too sure what this one is. Taipan 4FR, another linear fusion rifle, but it's void instead this time. Looks like it's got some good options. I think field prep and firing line would be great. Really fast reloads, more ammo in the reserves, or clown cartridge and firing line if you don't want to worry about reloading. Triple tap, yeah, I mean this is going to be a good DPS option. And it looks like this one looks like it's just part of the Whirlpool, so it's going to be a little bit more accessible. Not too hard to get for the average player. Don't have to grind trials or anything like that. And it looks like it even has some PvE roles, like maybe PvP, pardon me, fragile focus and opening shot. You know, if you really like linear fusions for some reason in the Crucible, that would probably be pretty good. Second to last, we've got Plank Stride, a legendary arc machine gun. 900 RPM, that's always fun. Call that the bullet hose variety. Crucible, not a big fan of machine guns either, but maybe you could do something like Perpetual Motion, tap the trigger. That could work pretty well. You know, maybe Perpetual and Eye of the Storm. Make sure you stay on target even when you're taking fire. Yeah, for PvE, I mean, I guess if you really wanted, heating up makes weapons feel nice and consistent. For a machine gun that probably has a lot of kick at this rate of fire, that might be nice. You know, maybe heating up One for All, heating up Swashbuckler, Perpetual Motion, One for All, that sort of thing. Not the greatest for PvE, but maybe worth a shot. Lastly, it looks like they redid Roar of the Bear. Let's see what this is all about. We got a solar rocket launcher, and it looks like it's got the good stuff. So you got stuff like auto loading. Kind of feel like that's in the wrong slot. Might be nice to have the auto loading in Vorpal, but not a huge deal, I guess. Could do something like demo in Vorpal. You fire a rocket, throw a grenade, instantly reload, fire another rocket. Could do the same thing with lasting impression depending on the boss or what you're going up against. If you want something basic and reliable, could always do like tracking and lasting impression, or tracking plus Vorpal. Yeah, not the most exciting rocket launcher, but it's good to have options, I guess. Well, that's interesting. Unnamed item. Said it's an arc sniper. Still classified. Kind of interesting. Looks like it could be good for PvP. Perpetual and opening shot would be nice. Snapshot, opening shot. Perpetual and moving target. Interesting. I guess we'll find out what this one is later. Oh, it's for Season of the Haunted, it looks like. Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, other than the exotics, which I'm not going to cover today, that is all the new weapons for Season of Plunder. So yeah, that'll do it. Looks like that's all the loot for Season of Plunder. Got some nice ones. Some new Trials loot and some mainly reprised Nightfall weapons, but good to have those back for sure. And yeah, hope you enjoyed watching the video. It was kind of nice to just run through and break down all the roles you might want to get, and keep an eye out for those. Let me know what you're going to hunt for down in the comments. If you want to talk more Destiny, I've got a small little Discord where we hang out and talk memes, fashion, builds, all that kind of stuff. It's a good time. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the season. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.